Newt Gingrich was on the cover of Time magazine in 1994 after helping Republicans sweep that year's congressional election. He's back on the stage supporting another Republican revolution, the presidential campaign of Donald Trump. Earlier this summer, we spoke with him about the campaign and his book and documentary that touch on the first American Revolution.
When you take Rediscovering God in America and you walk around all the monuments, and you start with Washington, who talks about the importance of Providence, and without Providence's intervention, we wouldn't have won. You go to Jefferson, who says, I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against all forms of tyranny over the minds of man. And there are 4 quotes in the Jefferson Memorial about God. You go to Lincoln, whose second inaugural is virtually a sermon, which you can read standing there. It's very short. It references God again and again and again. You begin to realize that you, despite every effort of the modern secular left, you cannot understand America unless you understand how deeply our key leaders have felt that God was integral to the American spirit.
If Jefferson and Adams went to William and Mary and Harvard, Washington went to war.
The First American is a documentary about George Washington. Based on my experience in some schools, I bet a lot of schools pretty much present George Washington as an anecdote, you know, sort of an old guy in a couple of phrases. Your documentary seeks to do something entirely different.
This is the guy on whom the whole country stands. This is the father of our country. This is the man who, when he died, they said was, you know, first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of his countrymen. And so we decided we would do the First American. We were very, very fortunate. Robert Lyons is an actor who looks like a younger Washington, because we wanted to break away from the old man sitting there as president at the end of his career, because young people can't possibly, you know, this is like great-grandfather or grandfather.
Yeah, we think of him as the image on the currency.
Exactly, that's right. And we wanted to take him off the currency and give you the younger, aggressive, the best horseman in the colonies, a man of enormous physical strength who could break a walnut between his thumb and first finger, a great wilderness character who is literally in his early 20s starting a world war in the West, who has 4 bullet holes in his coat and 2 horses shot from under him at the Battle of Monongahela. I mean, this is an action hero. So the First American really is our effort to recenter Washington at the center of the American experience. And through the Gingrich Foundation, we hope to get it in every high school in the country. And we make it available at Gingrich Productions for people who want to buy a copy. And we're currently shopping it to several networks. But I think we'll probably try to bring it up every single birthday for the next 20 years to have people see, you know, this is what America was built on, this kind of courage, this kind of work ethic, and this kind of patriotism.
Did Washington really call this the American experiment?
Yes. They saw this as something different. They knew that when you read the Declaration of Independence, and you remember you're in a world of kings and emperors, and you suddenly have this declaration that says, we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. You're now cutting through all of this relationship and asserting that God comes straight to each individual, skipping the king. It's really an extraordinary radical document, and they knew that that was an experiment.
The book was organized as a walking tour of the great monuments and memorials in Washington. Gingrich worked closely with his wife, Callista, on the project. Coming up on the next Full Measure, we take you inside a U.S. military building in Afghanistan known as 64K. The Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction describes it as an unwanted and unnecessary construction project that wasted millions of U.S. tax dollars. That story on the next Full Measure. Thanks for watching. I'm Sharyl Attkisson. Until next time, we'll be searching for more stories that hold powers accountable.